I'm going to have her go, then you can go right after. Please.
Hi, my name is Kathryn Quigley, 518 First Street, Greenport. I'm here as chairwoman of the Southold Town Democratic Committee to reiterate some of the things that Doug Roberts said. Approximately 1 year ago, I came before you to address my concerns about accountability and transparency within the town board. And one of the reasons I spoke about this issue is because I believe that one-party rule carries a risk of fostering corrosive, corrupt, anti-democratic behavior. And in the absence of a balance of power among our elected officials, transparency and open, consistent communication with voters can help alleviate those concerns. However, I regret that today, about 1 year later, residents are learning firsthand of the dangers of corruption and silence resulting from one-party rule. On December 4th, 2 Southold Town residents were arrested for alleged fraudulent petition schemes involving the Green Party. These individuals knowingly submitted nominating petitions for candidates containing forged signatures, including signatures of people who had died. It has been well reported that these individuals are Board of Elections employees, which is of course deeply concerning. What is also concerning, but in my opinion has been somewhat less reported, is that these individuals are both Southold Town GOP committeemen. In this position, they are responsible for gathering signatures on petitions for all Southold Town GOP candidates. So what does this have to do with you? You have all been, and presumably will be again, Southold Town GOP candidates. This means that this scandal relates directly to each of you. Now let me be clear, I am not implying that any of you were in any way personally involved in this fraudulent scheme. What I am saying is now that these unfortunate acts have happened, it has significant bearing on you as GOP elected officials. Official representatives of the party that got you on the ballot, the party that worked to elect you, the party that represented both you and the majority of voters who voted you into your positions have been arrested for election fraud. That is why, frankly, as Doug said, it is appalling that these arrests happened 2 full weeks ago. Their actions have been reported on and known of for many months, yet none of you, no one on the town board, has said a word publicly so much as expressing concern, condemning their actions, or calling for an investigation into your own party to ensure that these fraudulent behaviors don't run more deeply. Again, I'm not implying you played a role in this. However, your subsequent failure to speak out once these actions came to light, actions that erode voters' trust in our democratic systems, make each of you complicit. What's more, it leads one to question your silence. Why, as our town's elected representatives, public servants, have you not had the courage to speak up with regard to a very concerning issue that so directly concerns the public and our trust in our election process? Why not call for an investigation? How do we know that this fraud isn't more rampant and hasn't been happening even beyond the Green Party line, especially since they have the actual authority to collect signatures for the GOP? Are you worried about what else you might find? Are you satisfied with Mr. McGreevy's statement that the issue will be dealt with internally, aka secretly, behind closed doors and without transparency? I can assure you, voters will not be content with that level of secrecy and corruption. It's this very culture of secrecy that creates an environment in which cheating and fraud can flourish. I ask you, is this the party that you want to run for re-election with? A party secretly sweeping its committeemen's election fraud under the rug with no assurances that this fraud doesn't run deeper. We are seeing our election processes tested on a national level. Time and again, we're learning of ways the GOP across the country has, as the Suffolk Times put it so aptly this week, looked to cheat to win. It is deeply disturbing that we are seeing these same trends happening locally, and it is incumbent upon all of us to hold our elected officials and political parties accountable. As such, I call on each of you to take a public position on this issue and to call on GOP Chair McGreevy to bring the necessary reforms in order to protect your party, all voters, and our political system. Thank you.
Thank you.